As they say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. But could it be possible that a soul might be living in an inanimate object?
I saw something in the sky.
I was shocked.
That's what I saw.
It moved closer and closer.
Couldn't move my body.
And it disappeared.
I froze and couldn't snap out of it.
Welcome, I'm Stephanie, and this is BuzzFeed Unsolved Viewer Submission Stories. Here we feature stories of unexplained encounters of the paranormal and strange that were submitted by viewers like you. Now, I do understand that there are skeptics and believers, and people who are somewhere in between. But we're not here to discuss that. We're here to listen to your stories and not judge it. As humans, we often seek comfort in other people, but sometimes we find comfort in inanimate objects that hold some value to us, such as children do with their favorite toys. But what happens when non-human things become a little too human for comfort? In this episode, we have a story from your fellow viewer, Gabriella A., who wrote in to share her eerie encounter with a gift she received that was apparently more than just an ordinary doll. So without further ado, lock your doors, hang tight to your phone, and turn off the lights as we share with you Gabriella's disturbing experience. Gabriella wrote, "When I was around 4 or 5 years old, one of my dad's friends came to visit. After we sat down, the friend's wife, Rose, handed me a bag. She told me that the friend of hers gave her the item that was inside the bag and hopefully I liked it. I looked inside and saw a small baby doll. It had a pink onesie and beanie, and its eyes could close and open by themselves. At first I was in love with the doll. I had always had it with me when I slept, ate, went outside, and really just everywhere. One night I was ready to sleep and grabbed my doll like always and laid down. After a while I woke up and the sound of someone's voice was calling my name. I opened my eyes and saw my doll sitting upright and looking at me, still calling my name. I was scared and I couldn't move. I didn't know if it was a dream or not, but I was still terrified. I then started saying to come play with her. All I did was turn around and fall back asleep, afraid of what might happen if I did what it asked." Now, initially I think of anthropomorphism, the idea of applying human characteristics to non-human things. Humans seem to do this a lot. It's seen in advertising, in storytelling, and so on, and so dolls could easily fall into this category, simply because some of them are designed to look human. Gabriella also mentioned that the doll would open and close its eyes on its own. How creepy is that? Continuing with Gabriella's story. Its taunting kept repeating every night until one day I got sick of it and stuffed it inside a bag and into the closet. One day my entire family had gone outside and no one was left inside. I went inside to get a sweater since it was getting cold, and as I opened the closet, I saw my doll sitting upright and its eyes open. I screamed and my mom got rid of the doll the same day. I'm still scared of dolls." So luckily for Gabriella, her mom got rid of the doll. Gabriella mentioned to this day she's still scared of dolls, and this is known as pediophobia. And about 9% of adults have this phobia, with countless of others who claim to have had similar experiences. Now, dolls have been around for thousands of years, some of which are obviously inspired by the human form itself, and they resemble us so closely that it's easy to see them as a mini versions of ourselves. Children may even act out what they perceive their future to be like through them. And if the doll isn't a representation of themselves, they treat it as its own entity, a friend with whom they are close, a confidant. As harmless as that sounds, sometimes there are cases where the dolls are not as lifeless as they may have thought. A well-known account of a haunted or possessed doll is that of Robert the doll. While the movie Chucky was inspired by Cabbage Patch Kids and the My Buddy doll of the 1980s, many people see similarities between Robert and Chucky. In the early 1900s in Key West, Florida, Thomas and Minnie Otto had their third son, Robert Eugene, whom they called Gene for short. At the age of 4, Gene received a gift that he became very attached to. The gift was a doll which he named after himself, calling him Robert. But very soon the doll proved to be trouble for Gene. Gene would soon inherit the family home from his parents. His new bride Anne would soon move in and share the home with Gene and Robert. Gene, an artist, would spend his days painting in the home's turret where Robert was kept propped up in a window, and children would pass by the home and see Robert move from one side of the window to the other. Anne Anne had such dislike for Robert that when Jean died and she leased the house, she required Robert to remain in a cedar chest in the attic. Tenants of the house would report hearing giggles and footsteps coming from the attic and would find Robert in places where they had not left him. In 1974, Myrtle Reuter purchased a home and with it inherited Robert. She remained his loyal caretaker for 20 years, taking him with her when she sold the house. However, in 1994, she donated him to a museum after reports of Robert moving on his own and locking her in a room. Today, Robert sits behind a glass display at the Fort East Martello Museum awaiting his visitors. He is said to interfere with electronics in his presence, and the museum displays letters from those who have disrespected him, begging for forgiveness. So let's hope that Gabriella's doll did not end up with another child somewhere. But in the event that it did, perhaps there's someone out there with more chilling stories to share. If you have a strange or paranormal experience that you would like to share with us, submit your story using the link in the video description below for your chance to have your story featured in a video like this. Until next time, know that anything is possible.